Are you sick of excessive lawn maintenance? Mowing your lawn, weeding, spraying? Have you ever thought about having a low maintenance lawn? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not that hard. You just gotta jump in and do it. Now what I've discovered after I've established this, it's been a year, is that the prairie dropseed, although quite lovely, does not spread out. In fact, native grasses tend to clump and they don't grow by root like other invasives. For example, what we have here is your typical Bermuda grass. It comes out in runners and creates a dense carpet. Let me just show you some techniques for good weeding practice. When you're dealing with something with a lot of roots, you want to pry the soil. Loosen the root balls a bit so you can pull them out. These plants are devious in many ways. They'll send out long runners to a new place to deploy more plants. Here we have a dandelion. Notice how the root got clipped. The roots are quite long with dandelions. Sometimes you just have to let it go. Other times you can actually dig deep enough to get the whole root. There we go. We got that. It's not coming back. Throw them in a bucket. Basically you want to get rid of them because most of them will reseed or reroot themselves. What I've found is the shade from this tree is really preventing the more sensitive Appalachian sedge from being prolific, and it's really allowed a lot of weeds to infest. So I've decided to cut my losses and transplant all the good stuff onto that hillside. What you want to do first is prepare the hole and have water on hand. It's actually rained here, so I'm not so concerned about that. Just gonna get out any remaining Bermuda grass roots in this area. And dig a nice size hole here. These roots go fairly deep, so you want to give it an advantage by preserving as much of the root ball as possible. Okay, I'm going to take this guy out. What I've found typically is these trowels can be quite flimsy. They're fine for minor weeding, but if you gotta dig, I do recommend something a little hardier. So you can see I've got a good root ball here. It could have gone deeper, but sometimes that's not feasible. And I'm just gonna plop it right in the hole. Kind of dress the area a little bit. A little while later, I'm going to come in with another layer of mulch. I'm going to carry along on this hillside, and I'm actually going to put plastic over it and leave it there for a year. What that does is it deprives all the weeds of light and water, the two essential ingredients for a plant to grow. We can see an example of that over here. It doesn't look good, but you know, in the long run, it's an investment in your landscape. And honestly, once you've got these plants established, you're maybe weeding once or twice a year. The good thing about plants that are native to your region is that they are adapted to whatever cycles of moisture and temperature most readily. So most of the native plants dig their roots a little deeper. That means they're more drought resistant. So you can actually go, once the plants are established, without watering. One thing you do sacrifice when you're working with a lot of native plants is the sort of orderly box bush, you know, green lawn effect. I like the chaos. I like the jungle effect. So it's up to you what kind of aesthetic you want to promote.